Good morning. Happy Friday. All that good stuff. I've got my coffee and I think I have a direction for what I'd like to share today. And it's not Luke Skywalker, or at least not the same bio. But what I thought I'd do first of all, Kyle at the admin bar over on his channel was super, super kind enough to share the video I did last week and expand on it about creating a photo gallery, a Lightbox photo gallery with advanced custom fields and GenerateBlocks. And he took it the direction of storing all of his galleries in an options area, an ACF options page, which is awesome. And then you can go through and create your query blocks wherever on your site and reference those. And anyway, so I've been wanting to show, or well, I've been wanting to explore the concept of creating an ACF block, a custom block to use in the Gutenberg editor, the WordPress editor, whatever they're calling it these days. But style it with GenerateBlocks. And I've built these blocks before. They're great. They're wonderful. It lets you build things that are very specific to your client needs or whatever you're trying to build. But styling them, creating them, building the HTML, adding the custom data from the ACF custom fields is not that easy because those meta fields are stored in a different way when they're stored in a block rather than being stored in a post type. So when they're stored in a post type, they're stored in the database in their own fields. So WordPress has a post meta table where all that stuff is stored, and it's referenced to the posts that they're associated with. When it's stored in a block, or like if you were to look at the database at, say, a page in WordPress that is built out of blocks, you'd see that there are all these, they look like kind of commented areas. And I should have, well, maybe I can pull up one and just show you real quick. Maybe I can do this one. Yeah, and while this opens up. So, and this is what I've been struggling with, and I'm still hoping. Yeah, so here's the table, WP post meta. I'm going to show the data, permissions. Let me go all the way to the end. Maybe there's a. Oh, no. I'm sorry, not post meta. We want to look at post. So post meta, so to show you what that looks like. All these footnotes. That's something I've been. Okay, well, for example, here is gallery images. And this is something, like what we're about to build. We're not going to do this part, but this is how, say, when you create a gallery field in Advanced Custom Fields and you save the data for it, this is what that data looks like. And this is called a serialized array, and it's just a way to store multiple values in one database table. And then it's unserialized when it's pulled out. And essentially, there's an array number. Remember, arrays start with 0, 0, 1, and 2. So there are 3 images here. And these are the image IDs. And this 3 here means there are 3 characters, or 3, characters. I think we can call them that. And these are the IDs of those images. So anyway, that's that. But if we were to look at the way WordPress stores, there you go. This is how WordPress stores a page or a post that has block editor data in it. So here's a paragraph, a WP paragraph. It's surrounded by comments. Here is a custom block that is sort of like what we're going to build today. Here's a spacer item. Here is a heading. So you can see it's a bit different. Look, here's a media item. And that is a GenerateBlocks element. So there you see the dynamic tag. Interesting, right? So when you build a custom block and you have that data that's stored in this post content and you try to fetch it with your standard dynamic tags and GenerateBlocks, it doesn't have the context to grab it out of this data. It's looking for it in the post meta field. So anyway, that is an exploration and a task for another day. Let's look at what I was able to do. We're still going to build a custom block, but it's going to work kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever used Soliloquy, the slider plugin, or Gravity Forms, but when you go, let's look at a page. When you say you need to drop in a gallery, I'm sorry, a Soliloquy slider, which that could be a gallery, or you need to drop in a form, it's still a block, but the Soliloquy slider does it more like what I'm thinking that we're going to do today. So if I do this, you essentially get this, and then you get to pick a slider. It doesn't preview as far as I know. You just get this block, and then you see it on the front end when you save it. I can't remember what this looks like. It may be the crazy Santa Claus image that I have. Yeah, okay. So it's just one slide image. It's not going to animate. But so this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to build a gallery post type where we can store our galleries. Then we're going to build a custom block where we can drop those galleries into a page via a block much like this, and then select which gallery that we want to show within that page. So I'm going to delete this, and my goodness, we're at 7 minutes. I hope I don't over explain things, but let's get to it. So first of all, we have a child theme. That is what I'm starting with. You could do this with a plugin, but I'm going to be showing you with a child theme because we're going to have to create some files and do a little PHP. But it is not that bad. It's not that scary. So first of all, yeah, we'll just follow what they tell us to do. So in our functions.php, we are going to set up this call, and I'm just going to copy and paste it. Or you know what? I'm going to copy and paste it from my, which is just like this, just without some of the comments. And I have a spot right here for it. And we're going to use this one. So essentially we're telling it, look in our child theme to register any ACF blocks that we want to use. So one in a folder, here's my child theme. So I'm going to create a new folder called blocks. And then within that folder, we're going to create another folder called gallery. All right. So what is it going to do? Well, once we've registered, we've told it we're going to register that. Now we have to put some stuff in this folder so it knows what to do. So we're going to create a block.json file that looks like this. And again, I'm going to copy and paste and show you what we're doing. So these are kind of the minimal things. There's a good many things you can add, and it gets, you can get much fancier with it. We're going to keep it kind of simple for now. So now within this gallery folder, we're going to create a file called block.json. And I'm going to paste this in here. So we give it a name, and it's going to be name spaced. We prefix it with ACF. I think they say you can prefix it with anything. I'm not going to use the brain power on that right now. Name must follow the format. Namespace, block name. ACF blocks default to namespace ACF. You don't specify one, but you're free to change this. I don't care right now. And this is the unique name. So GPC for me stands for Generate Press Child. and it's the prefix I use for lots of things: styles, files, scripts, whatever. And we're going to call it GPC Gallery. This is the title as it appears when you're selecting the block. This description as well when you're selecting the block while you're in the editor. Okay, here is where you define the style that it references. We have our styles already built because we're basing this gallery on what we built for Luke. And let's see, for anybody who may not have either watched those videos, which please go watch the video, it's creating a Lightbox gallery with ACF and GenerateBlocks like this. So we're going to use the same gallery, but we're going to transplant it onto what we build with our custom post type that we're going to associate with this block that we're building. So trust me, this is kind of a somewhat long and winding road, but we're going to get there. So again, first we're creating the block. Okay, so we have, the styles, I'm sorry. So the way I'm getting to those styles is we're just using the styles that GenerateBlocks is that they're creating. So gallery, where? Yeah, there are some local styles here, but where can I get to? We're just doing the style.min? No, style global. Okay, so this is a, let me just do this because we're going to create classes. Yeah, there it is. So here's what we're referencing: the GenerateBlocks global CSS, and you really only need, we don't need the cache buster or the versioning. We just need the part from /WP content all the way up to the file name. And so that's what I have referenced here. So that's where it's going to look for the styling. The category tells it where to put it in the list of blocks in the editor, where we're going to pick from the blocks that are available. And then we have an icon that we're going to assign to it. And this is just from dash icons. You can do other things. And then keywords for when you're searching. So when you can search through the block editor to find the block you're looking for, these are the words that will prompt this block to appear in that search. Okay, then ACF has some specific settings. So we're telling it we always want it to be in edit mode. Now, whether the user can tell it to preview, we're going to see. I can't remember. Okay, and then we have a template that we're going to assign to it. There's going to be a little bit of trickery in there. And we're also going to tell this block that we're going to support these things, even though we're not going to do anything with them. So these are the standard, like the HTML ID, the ARIA label, and the class name. But do know that when we build this, we are responsible for making sure that these work. So actually, I probably should set these all to false right now, just because this video is not going to cover that. So now let's also, since we're going to reference this gallery.php, let's also put it in here, because this PHP file is where we're going to tell the site where to get this gallery based on what we've picked in our custom block. So I'll show you, never fear, we'll get there. Okay, so now we've registered our block. We have set up the information for the block. So now there's a couple more things we need to do before we can actually get to that block. So this is longer and more involved than when I did this on my own. It seemed to go faster. So now we dig into ACF. So you might think we're going to go create a block now, but no, we're first going to create, not field groups, post types. So now let me go over here to my cheat site and see what I'm doing. So we're going to create a new post type, and it's going to be called galleries. singular name, gallery. Okay, and I'm going to call it ESB Gallery for Empire Strikes Back, just to give it a unique name, because you don't know if you install a plugin. If you just give it the name Gallery, I don't know. I'm thinking there are lots of plugins that just have Gallery. I don't know. I don't want any conflicts. And that may not be something I need to do, but I fear that it is, just in case. Okay, so now let's go down to advanced. I do not want a featured image. I do not want an editor. I think that's all I need. What else? What else? What else? What else? Let's give it, our label should be good. Visibility, yep. Menu position, I'm not going to worry about that. Let's look for, so we have, where is it? I don't want to spend the whole video looking for an icon, but I get so OCD about this, even though I rarely use anything besides dash icons. I know there's, yeah, we'll use that one. Yeah, okay. Exclude from search. Yeah, let's do exclude that from search. Appearance support, sure. Else permissions, REST API, sure. Yeah, okay, save. My gosh, we're almost 17 minutes in. I'm so sorry. Okay, so galleries. So now we have galleries, but we have nothing in the galleries. We have no way of adding content other than our title. So now we need to go back to ACF, and now we're going to create a field group. And I think here's where, let's just call it gallery fields. And we're going to select gallery. And let's call it gallery images. And field name is I'm going to prefix it again, ESB gallery images. We do want to return an array. And we'll see validation. Yes, we need to make it required, I suppose, because it won't do any good if it doesn't have any images. Here's what size thread. Yeah, that's fine. No conditional logic. Okay, post type. Let's add it to our gallery. Okay. Presentation. We need to do anything with that? Nah. Yes. Show in REST API. Is that right? I don't know that it matters. But anyway, we're going to save that. And you know what, too? Let's give it a, is it message? Where is it? Layout. Yeah, we'll give it a message. Wait. No. I'm thinking the wrong thing. See, I'm getting mixed up too. We're going to do that to the block. So here, we just have the post type. Okay, so save. Okay, so now we have galleries. Now we can, let's see, cool Empire Strikes. My goodness. Back photos. Or let's call it movie stills. Okay, and gotta move things around. In an ideal world, I would go into my settings and hide all this stuff, and that's another video. I can do customizing the admin. There may be an old video that shows you how to do some of that stuff. I think old. So let's go through and just select a bunch of these. So there's that. And let's create another gallery. From Empire Strikes Back. And let's add and that'll do. Yeah, here we go. Publish. Okay, so now we have two galleries, but we have nothing that outputs them to the site. So that's where our block comes in. So think of this as galleries. This is our kind of library of galleries. This is where they're all stored, where we can go edit them. Now we're going to build a way to insert them into pages or posts on the website so they will be visible. So now we go back to ACF, because now we have the pieces for our block. So again, we registered our block with the ACF hook or action, whatever you want to call it. And we told it we're going to create one that's in a gallery folder. And we created our block.json, and we said this is called a GPC gallery, and here's the code name for it or whatever that ACF is going to reference it with. And we even have our template file, or we told it where to grab the styles. We're just going to grab it from their GenerateBlocks styles that we're going to create. And we have a PHP file that's in the same gallery folder within blocks in our child theme, where we're going to tell it to do stuff. And it's going to be a good bit of PHP, but I'm going to walk you through everything. Okay, so now let's go back to the right website. Okay, so now we are going to create a new block set, or a new field set, and we're going to call it GPC Gallery Block Fields. And we're going to, here's where we're going to add in our message. And we're just going to call it block title. I don't think it's going to show up. I could be wrong. B gallery. Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. I don't know. SK HTML. Oh, we might be able to even, can we assign HTML? Give it an H3, an H2. Do an H2. I don't know. I didn't format it before. I don't know if it'll, oh. Do I do it in the message? I haven't done one of these in a while. I'll be honest. Instructions. That's nope. I think that's it. Okay. So yeah, so that's all good. So now here comes the magic. So we want to have a select menu, a drop down, to let you pick which gallery you'd like to include. So we're going to use the post object field type. And we're going to say select a gallery, and be the name we're going to give to it, which makes sense more from a developer perspective, because we're going to be grabbing the post, and we want it to only look under gallery and only find published. There are no taxonomies. We're not going to select multiple, and we do want, no, actually we want the post ID. Sorry. Because all we want is that ID. We're going to write a custom query to go fetch it. And post type, no, we are looking for a block, and specifically the gallery block. And I don't think I need to do anything here. Do we need the REST API? Yeah, sure. Just in case. Okay, so let's save that now. Okay, so now let's go back to our About page. And GPC gallery. Look at there. Oh, probably didn't need block title. Gallery block. That's big. So now let's see, movie stills, and let's create another one under here for the characters. So we have 2. So let's save that, and let's see what we get. Hopefully not an error. I don't think there should be an error. It'll just be nothing. Yeah. Okay. Because our gallery.php file, which we told our block, the render template is gallery.php, which is completely empty. So Here's where we get to typing. If I can find the correct. Yep, here we go. Okay, so first things first. PHP. Let's open the PHP tag because we need to tell it, even though it has PHP, you can go in and out of PHP. And let me, yeah. This is one of the things I like to put it on my PHP files. And all it does is tell it if anyone tries to access this file directly, just stop. Don't do anything. All right. So now let's go grab the gallery ID from our custom field, which is called ESB gallery post. All right. So we're going to grab that. And now let's say if, and this is just playing it safe, if that gallery ID is valid, if there is something there, let's do some stuff. Okay, so let's set up some arguments. Args, not arts, which is going to be an array because we're going to have a few things here to set up, not many. First of all, we're going to tell it in our arguments, and these arguments are going to be used in our query. And I'll show you that. So first of all, the post type. We're going to only look in ESB gallery, that new post type we created. Okay. And did I do? Oh, I did not curly brackets. Sorry. Let me fix my mess. Okay. We're going to tell it posts per page. Just one. Whoop. Oh, since it is a number, it doesn't need quotes. And then here's where I got messed up developing when I was working on this. I thought it was ID. We want to go look through the gallery post type and only fetch the single one that matches this gallery ID because it's essentially the post ID. And I thought the parameter name was ID, but it's not. It is P. Who would have thunk? So here we put gallery ID. I don't know why that got sucked up there. Okay. So now we have these arguments. Now let's set up a query. Gallery query equals new WP query. Now here's how you set up your own custom loop. We're going to feed it gallery arguments. Okay. So now that value, that variable is going to be filled with the query information. So now we do the standard loop stuff. And if you go look for Google WP query, it's going to come up with the same stuff. This is pretty basic. If that query returns something, so within that query, if it has posts or have posts, let's do some stuff. While it has posts, let me do a space there. Gallery query. While have posts, we're going to, oh, you have to do one more argument. Sorry. You have to tell it gallery query the posts. And this is just the function, I think, to set up the data for the query. It's a WordPress specific thing. So here we're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to do an action. And here's where we make it jump over to GenerateBlocks. And we're going to use an element with our own custom hook. So GPC add ACF gallery block. That is our hook name. Okay. one last thing. After all this is done, after it creates this query and runs it, we want to reset the loop. And this just helps WordPress do its thing correctly. If we don't reset the loop after leaving this, it could screw up the regular loop within WordPress. So like we're already within the main loop because we're in the middle of page data. So we're going to reset that. So business will continue as usual. So WordPress is going to jump into this query when it reaches our block, do this stuff, and then it's going to say, okay, forget all this, go back to what you were doing previously, and it'll keep going. Okay, so we have that to do its thing. Now it's time to get over to GenerateBlocks and do some cool stuff. So I'm going to copy that so we can use it. Okay, we still have, we may have an error. Nope, we have nothing because we have no hook. Okay, let's go to Elements. Let me get over here and pull up my cheat sheet again. Generate block. No, Elements. So now let's add a new element. We want it to be a block. And what are we going to call it? Let's call it GPC gallery block template. Okay. Now we're going to create not that would be like Inception. Put a gallery block within a gallery block within a gallery block. We're going to create a query, and we're going to start blank, and this will be a post meta query. Pagination standard, yeah. Current post, yeah. The meta key is ESB gallery images. Post per page, -1. That tells it to just keep on trucking. No offset, we can leave that. Tag name, yeah, we can leave all that. Okay, so now we have that. And I'm going to rename this because I like doing that these days. Gallery query. It just makes things clear. Okay, so now we have our looper and our loop item, and we're essentially rebuilding what we had before. And I'm just looking to make sure that we're doing it right. So I don't know if you remember or not, we this loop item we made into a link, and we're pasting in our URL field from what that gallery returns. This is in that last video we did with the ACF Lightbox gallery with GenerateBlocks. So reference last week's video to see how all this was built. Right now, we're just tying it all to the custom block we're building. Now we need an image within this loop item, and I think that'll give it to me. Image. Well, that didn't work at all. I don't know what that's about. There it goes. Okay. Image. Let me look here, and I'm just copying and pasting, and I realize that I just pasted over my block, but that's okay. Loop item source alt. We're not gonna. Yeah. You know, alt. We can do that. Let's do, instead of the URL, we're gonna grab the alt, and I think we say required false, just in case. I think that'll work. That could blow up in my face. Okay. Now, oh, there were a bunch of, let me see. I think I forgot my styling. So let me just double check here. We'll do that many, and we want the image. Oh, no. the loop item, we want it to be, what is set to block? An image. Image we want to be square. So we'll do the ratio 1:1. Okay, and the other bit was we need a hook. Now here's where we can assign a custom hook. So let me go back over here because I've already forgotten it. Is that it? There's our hook name. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, so again, what is happening here? We've registered our block. There it is right there. Gallery. So we have our block.json that describes what this block is, what it does, all the bits and pieces it needs, including our render template, which is gallery.php, which is here. And so we went and fetched the gallery post that we selected within our block. If it is a valid gallery ID, we create some arguments to go and fetch the data from the selected gallery, which is from a custom post type, which is named ESB gallery. We feed these arguments to a new query, a new WP query. And if that query has results, we loop through the query just once, by the way, because we've limited it to one per page. And we tell it, go do this hook, go fetch this, and then do stuff within that hook. And that hook contains our template. So I'm going to publish this. And if this does not explode in my face, we did something wrong. Oh, I did forget one thing. We need display rules. We want it to display on the entire site because we want that hook to be exposed. And it still doesn't show. Okay, let me pause and see what I did wrong, and I'll correct it. Okay, so what had happened was when I entered this the first time, I didn't click add or I didn't hit enter on my keyboard, and it didn't stick. So this was blank. So now we have information. We have images. Okay, they're not styled correctly, and the Lightbox isn't working, but I think I know why. So you live and you learn, man. And you know what? I've just been talking with some guys on the Facebook group about, or maybe there's some comments that this wasn't working. And I think even Kyle in his video said that he was having issues with it, having to make sure that he hit enter. So there you go. We want, I forgot, on the looper where you set your grid, because the Lightbox is activated by a class of gallery. I forgot to add that class. But let's also look at our grid layout. 10 pixels, sure. And that gives us the spacing between both horizontally and vertically. And now we have our Lightbox. So pretty cool, right? We still have a little bit of vertical space. I think that's make the image block. So give it a display of block instead of inline. And I think that takes care of that. Yeah, that additional space. So yeah. And now we can continue adding. If we want to do another gallery, maybe this is Jedi's from Empire Strikes Back. And we'll add this and this and this. Oh, and this. So publish that. And now we can go to, or you know what? It doesn't even have to be, do I have a regular? Yeah. It can be a post. So let's go in here. The classic, can we convert that? That's a classic block? Ooh. I'll just delete it. Whatever. Our partners? Oh, this is from Cloudways. Okay. Oh, well. Let's drop in another gallery and Jedi's from Empire Strikes Back. And as soon as it saves, there we go. Oh, sorry. That was the list view. There you go. There's our gallery. And it still works. So it's not a full-blown editor block necessarily. You know, ideally, we drop this block in. Well, I guess it depends on what you're going for. This way, you kind of have a reference to the galleries that you're working with. So I could go back and say I've, embedded this gallery in, or let's just do an example here. Oh, it does have a preview, which is not going to work. So that's I wish I could make it stick in, and maybe you can. There's a setting I'm not aware of yet. Stick in editor mode because there is no preview. I'm not even sure if you could get it to preview in the editor. But let's duplicate this and let's choose characters. So Jedi's and characters. So the great thing about this, the fact that we're using a post object, and this is like a relationship field, sort of. We're relating the data instead of including it directly within the post. So now this appears in two places. We have the characters that appear on that page and the about page. So multiple places. So say it appeared on 50 pages within your site and you needed to update it. Well, because of the way we've built it, all you'd have to do to update it is go to your galleries and go to characters. Yeah, that's the one. And let's add Santa Claus in a space helmet. AI is a beautiful thing sometimes. Yeah, there we go. There's my character. So now Santa Claus appears there. And if I go to the posts and click on that, yeah, he appears there too. So we have kind of our hub for the galleries. And then we reference those galleries wherever we like using our blocks. So that was, I feel like, a lot to get to where we are. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not too overwhelming. I'm going to try to, well, no, I don't really need to reference. I think everything, I'll include a link to this certainly. The documentation for for ACF blocks. I know that was a fair amount of PHP. I guess I could put this in a gist and reference it so that just you, because the code's going to be the same for anything you do, because we're doing all the heavy lifting within this hook that references the element in generate press, where you can use GenerateBlocks to build it. But all of this other stuff is really going to be the same. You'll just sub out the field name for your post object, the variable name if you like, and then the post type that you're referencing. And technically, you could do it. I mean, you could keep it generic. You would need the hook name. And I don't know if you can do a variable for the hook name. You know what? Let's try that real quick. I mean, the video is already 45 minutes long. Why not? Post type hook name. We'll just do that. I've never tried this. I don't know if it'll work. Oop, forgot. So this way, these are the three things that you'll need to update. Change the field name, change the post type, and change the hook name to whatever you like. And the rest of it is kind of generic. Well, I can change these to query args. Call this a block query. Okay, now it's generic. If it doesn't work, I'm sorry. Hey, it does work. Look at there. Okay, yay PHP. So yeah, I'll post that with some comments to a gist, so you can just copy and paste it. This structure will be the same. If you create a different one, it'll still go in the blocks folder, but you'll call it, say, slideshow. Something like that. And you'll put a block JSON in that with a description of what all it needs. And then you'll put a slideshow.php within that folder, or depending on whatever you call the template. I call it the same thing as the folder it's in, just .php. So yeah. So there you go. I will bring this to an end because this is a very long video and I'm very, very sorry, but there's a lot to get through. I hope it's helpful. Don't be afraid of PHP. Don't be afraid of any of this. Experiment, have fun with it, and I hope you find it useful in your own stuff or other projects you're working on. I have some other things in the works regarding galleries and filtering galleries and including videos in galleries. I'm trying it. I'm experimenting with it to see how it works. Not promising anything, but yeah, trying to make some things that you guys find useful or maybe you're struggling with, and we can all learn together. So like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and have a great weekend. See y'all next week.